Welcome to Desert Sun Crypto. I'm your host, the Desert Sun. Welcome back, all you crypto gangsters. I promise that's the last time I will say it for a while. I had a fun time saying crypto gangsta for the last day or so. That's just a fun thing to say. I think it defines everyone in the crypto space well. But I wanted to circle around this whole conflict of interest axe granting that I and many others have had with regard to Jay Clayton and William Hinman. So, a couple things just to share. This article came out yesterday and entitled "Cryptocurrency and Conflicts of Interest at SEC: The Case for an Investigation." And their names SEC Chairman Jay Clayton and his chief lieutenant, the former director of corporation finance, William Hinman. They're put in charge of the agency that possesses the most power to regulate such companies and give no specific regulatory framework on how to treat cryptocurrencies. Both have gone on to work with law firms and companies. Let me show you. I had mentioned One River, and here's their website if you want to check it out, oneriveram.com. And I went to their digital strategies, and what do you know? They've got a whole digital strategy on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. And we can go down and read a little bit more on their strategy and what have you. But what I thought was interesting is if you go down to their Academic and Regulatory Advisory Council, the first person you see is Jay Clayton. Well, who is Jay Clayton? He is the one there in name, the last head of the SEC before Gary Gensler. And it just seems such a coincidence that both Bitcoin and Ethereum have not been touched. They leapfrog over and go after Ripple, claiming that it's an asset. Jay Clayton's attorney, he's smart. He knows, you know, he knows how to word things, right? And I think the bigger thing here is that it may open the door to see, hey, what kind of communications did he have before he left the SEC with One River? I'd like to know. The other issue that came up is this company, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Discover how Ethereum is driving business innovation and powering the evolution of the web. Again, Ethereum being one of the two that is not considered a security. If you go to their page, okay, and look at their member section and look at EEA members, it's going to give you a list of a number of organizational members, and we can scroll down to one in particular under S by the name of Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett, who happens to be an advisor there, William H. Hinman, former director for the SEC's Division of Corporate Finance. So here we have two individuals work for the SEC. Meanwhile, in the time, and if we go back, Brad Garlinghouse has made it clear that since 2017, maybe even earlier, they've asked for clarity from the SEC on how to proceed and move things forward. That is for Ripple Labs. And they didn't receive anything in return. Now, the last day, Jay Clayton served as the SEC chairman. he ends up slapping Ripple with a lawsuit that is currently in the courts. Now, speaking of which, crypto law on Twitter had shared this. Okay, and this was presented to Judge Netburn. I shared it on a couple episodes ago. And one of the big bombs that dropped here was Exhibit I. Then it reads, Exhibit I is an excerpt of transcript of the confidential deposition of William Hinman. So yes, the deposition did transpire. We do not know the date. We do not know the details. But we do know that there is an excerpt that is in this Exhibit I. John Deaton on Twitter said that we now know that there are 63 emails attaching drafts of Hinman's speech. Now, why is this important? I'll have to open this and actually see if this, what exactly the content it is here. Oh, wow. Is this actually? Okay. So in here it says 13 internal communications among SEC staff directly relates regulatory status of Bitcoin and Ether over the period of November 13th to June 2018, including several specifically relating to June 14th, 2018 speech by William Hinman, the then director of the Division of the Corporation of Finance. 63 emails attaching drafts of Hinman's speech, each of which is asserted to be protected by both DDP and the attorney-client privilege, and 65 other documents consisting of emails, attorney notes, and memorandum. Okay, so in here, this is just another letter sent to Judge Netburn, different than the one that I had just shown, a little bit more elaborate, and a few things to highlight in here. Are a couple of the points made. The SEC should not be permitted to withhold relevant, potentially exculpatory evidence on the basis of the deliberative process privilege. The SEC has failed to properly invoke DDP as the documents it is withholding. The SEC's alternative basis for withholding policy-related documents fail. So it'd be interesting what Judge Netburn says. The conclusion of this was the defendant respectfully requests that the court find that the SEC may not invoke DPP with respect to the narrow categories of documents covered by the court's April 6 and May 6, 2021 orders, and therefore compel the SEC to produce those documents responsive to its April 6 and May 6 orders. So let's see what Judge Netburn does. Like I always say, there's something interesting going on every day in the crypto world. I saw this meme and I thought it was interesting and relevant. It is XRP is a security, according to the SEC, in the US, and XRP is a currency in all these other countries. You know, last episode I was talking about where someone and why someone would ultimately get up and go work someplace else with regard to just being too much regulation, squeezing out the cryptocurrency space here in the United States. There's one of the many places that I'd go. Japan would be a great place. Been there, it's great. And the last thing I wanted to share, I like sharing some of these, some of the individuals within the space where you can keep up on a lot of this stuff. John Deaton has been one of the heroes in filing on behalf of the XRP Army to the court that we want to testify and make ourselves known, since the SEC is looking out after us. But James K. Filing Law is the handle. I was just cracking up because he has his picture. I thought it was I thought it was William Hinman. Um, but in any case, James K. Filan, great place to get information from, as well as Crypto Law US. Um, all these attorneys in the space share information with each other. Nothing's under lock and key. Everything's very much transparent. I also give plugs for Jeremy Hogan, John Deaton, and Attorney Seal. And I pretty much, within those five, you got a pretty good grasp of um, the legal end of what's happening in the cryptocurrency world. I will say I'm not a any kind of legal expert. I try and make sense of whatever I can. That being said, I'm glad I was able to circle around that topic and hopefully give and share some more light on where this thing goes. And we'll see whether or not what Judge Knepper has to say. I did also think it's just a funny uh, name. Call it coincidence that it's Judge Netburn. I don't know. It just sounds just so techie to have a judge in this case, Judge Netburn. On that note, I'll leave it at that. This is the Desert Sun. You tune in to Desert Sun Crypto. Thanks again, and look forward to sharing more insight with you here in the future. Have a good one.